Welcome to the Jefferson Exchange. I'm Angela Decker. As exciting as it can be to see a new building taking shape, it can be truly tedious to make the walls. Enter Pacific Wall Systems, which constructs prefabricated wall panels at a covered plant in Phoenix, Oregon, saving builders time and effort. In this edition of The Ground Floor, our business and entrepreneur series, management consultant and host Cynthia Schur looks inside the walls of the wall business with the company's vice president, Alex Knecht.
You're listening to The Ground Floor on Jefferson Public Radio, where we talk with regional entrepreneurs about their businesses and how they got started. Our guest today is Alex Knecht, who is the vice president of Pacific Wall Systems. He and his wife are the co-founders of that company, and it's located in Phoenix, Oregon. So welcome, Alex. Nice to have you here.
Thank you very much for having me.
So tell us a little bit about Pacific Wall Systems and how it got started. What is a wall system?
Well, how it got started is what we've been doing for many years with framing houses. So a wall system is simply that. It's just the walls of a house or a home or a multi-story, multi-family type construction.
Okay, and what prompted you to start that business here in Southern Oregon?
Well, we were framing. My wife and I had Craftsman Custom Homes here in Ashland, and we spent a better part of 10 years developing real estate and selling it. So we did spec homes, and then we also did work for general contractors in the area just for framing. We did framing subcontract labor and materials and for several general contractors in the area.
And so my understanding is that Pacific Wall System does off-site construction. So talk a little bit about that. So you're not going on-site and framing things.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. We supply walls and supply only. So we don't work on subcontracts. We work on purchase orders. And people buy the walls completed or the floors completed as a component. It's simply delivered to the site, and they take it from there. They offload it and they put it up. That gives us a lot of leniency around the supply piece, and being under contract is a lot more convoluted than being a supplier. So it's just like buying materials from the lumberyard. You buy the components already built. So you get what you buy what you get, basically, and you buy what you get, and it's all you need. So you don't have any waste. You have zero waste and very, very little to speak of that you have to do after the walls are stood.
So what's the ideal customer for you? Who are the kinds of customers that you normally sell to?
Well, we do a lot to prevailing wage jobs and where time is of the essence. Also, high velocity schedules, big demand for schedule, and because of time, it's all about time savings. We save you a ton of time. We're able to manufacture the walls and have them ready for you when the concrete's ready. So we have a lot of Bay Area, California work. We go basically 400 miles in either direction. We have two facilities, and one is now closing down in Washington. So we're going to centralize our main headquarters here in Phoenix on the new property there. So yeah, we have a lot of union carpenters and production framers, general contractors, developers. We have a laundry list of our bread and butter customers that we do majority of our work for.
Mm-hmm. If you are working outside of Oregon, are the regulations and what you're held to significantly different when you work in California, or is it about the same?
It's relatively the same. We work off of the engineered plans that are given to us by the customer.
So it is custom. You just engineer it off-site and build it off-site.
Yeah, the engineering is already complete for us, and we interpret the plans and the architect and the engineer's drawings, and put them into a CAD format. And we do the design work prior to. So there's a lot of early on collaboration. So it makes for great coordination. And we basically build the building. We have framers that are now retired and out of the field and just sit behind a computer. And they use the mouse to build the buildings. And then the shop drawings are scrutinized by the owner or the customer. Mm-hmm. And then we ship them out from the shop drawings. We're able to send that to the shop with in machine language, so we can print with a computer. We can print onto the wood so we can indicate where studs and everything go. So
And does that help you optimize the use of materials?
certainly does. Yeah, we fully optimized, and then further, we as far as the waste factor goes, we're able to take the same types because it's primarily the same types of materials on most jobs. So grades, species, and those kind of things. If it doesn't fit in this job, we can surely use it in the next.
Yeah, I noticed on your website that you talk about how it's a very, sustainable, low waste system. Can you just talk a little bit more about that? Like, what makes it more sustainable than on-site
Well,
framing?
the impact on site, as you know, can be very large, especially on the big, like dormitories buildings is a good example, or affordable housing projects where it's multifamily, multi-story, and so you have several hundred framers on a job site of that nature if it's being stick framed.
Uh-huh.
If it's being component frame, you need about 25% of that. So your impact on the site goes way down. That's part of the sustainability piece is being able to limit your crew size. We're also working in inclement weather. We're working at all times. And then in our facility, we're able to reuse and reuse or use all of the product that we buy. And what little waste we have is turned into energy through biomass, and is where we go typically. So we throw very little into the ground, into the landfill. So everything's utilized to the fullest extent that we can. And our computers all optimize. There's, again, very little waste and best use and best practice.
So you said it sounds like it's about a 75% labor savings, at least for framing.
I would say 75%. Hard for me to really pin that down. It really depends on the installer or the framer. Some framers go from crew of 100 to 25. So it really significantly changes depending on if you have the floors or not.
And how about time? What kind of time savings does that involve?
Well, the industry says 60%, but we've seen jobs that should take 6 months to frame done in 8 weeks.
Wow,
So,
significant time savings. So I read that you recently got a grant from the Oregon Housing and Community Services Department for expansion. How are you going to use those funds, and what prompted them to give you those funds?
in November, we applied, and there was 4 grants awarded. There was a total of $20 million, and it was spread out between 4 of us, 4 companies. They had some criteria, and we had to prove that we could meet that criteria. And the three main things being emergent housing, affordable housing, and middle income housing. So we put a program together and intend to build a new facility, 2 new facilities on the property, and a few other pieces of equipment, and put that budget together, and that's what we intend to do over the course of the next 12, 13 months, is build that facility, which will ramp up our production by almost 20%, and it'll also make available to the state at a drop of a hat. Mm-hmm. They'll be able to pick up emergent housing and fill that void.
So it sounds like it's both part of an affordable housing solution as well as the emergency housing solution.
Yes, and we're using the accessory dwelling unit as the third, which is the middle income, which is another huge part of the state's puzzle right now.
This is The Ground Floor on Jefferson Public Radio. I'm your host, Cynthia Schur, and today I'm speaking with Alex Knecht, Vice President of Pacific Wall Systems. So the ADUs that you describe, are those completely prefab and built by Pacific Wall Systems, or just the wall component? How is that package put together?
Yeah, so the accessory dwelling units are a flat stack kit of the components, the wall components, the floor components. So meaning floor cassettes that are fully assembled and ready for delivery or ready for assembly. These things can be put up in a day's time with a small crew, 3 to 4 people in a crane. Wow. You want one good framer, carpenter on site with a good experience, but short of that, every part is pre-built in our facility and then sent out on truck as a flat stack kit. So it's just stood up and away it goes. So.
And are those installed anywhere yet, or is this under development?
We've done a few. Mm-hmm. We started them a while back as a solution because of the multifamily or the single zone designation going away. Basically, the state of Oregon has put in place legislation that is driving cities, much like Ashland and otherwise, to only or allowing accessory dwelling units, even if you basically, essentially, the zone single family zone designation has gone away of populations 20,000 and more. So, and parking requirements.
So to promote infill and to promote,
That's
you know,
right. So you can build a ADU in your backyard or in your driveway, and put it on top. These are meant to either go with a garage underneath or two of them stacked on top of one another. And cities like Talent has been doing it for a while, and they have I think you can do two accessory dwelling lots. So that's a total of three on otherwise what would be a single family dwelling lot. So yeah, they're not pre-manufactured in the traditional sense of a manufactured home or a modular home, but they are modular components of the home. So we're able to send them out, and they can be easily and quickly assembled.
And was that an innovation that your company did, or have you borrowed that solution from someone else who's developed it? How did that come about?
I'd certainly like to say I did wall panels. We evolved this on probably my second back surgery. I actually came up with the idea, but I can't say it was my idea, of course. They've been building off-site components in Europe and Canada and the East Coast forever. I mean, for a long, long time. And we just simply a little slower on the West Coast. There is several manufacturers that do this. There's some in Canada. But yeah, I created the idea. I thought it was a great idea, and because I really wanted to frame the walls on a table.
Huh.
So I figured out a way to frame the walls on a table, and I invented the table, I thought. And but lo and behold, the table was already invented. So I just went about my way and bought one of those from the East Coast. I bought one of those lines and their software.
So, and now you can roll it out right here in Phoenix.
That's right.
Okay. So, and what are some of your future plans? What can we expect from Pacific Wall Systems in the next 3 to 5 years?
Well, the big thing is we're going to start with this grant money. We're going to start building open web floor joists, which is a truss floor joist with a wood open web, meaning, and those will be incorporated into our floor cassettes. We'll have more facility to build floor cassettes and pre-manufactured staircases. So these are all components along with the ADUs. So as I mentioned, the ADUs was created. We actually developed 5 sets of plans for the city of Medford, and you can go there and get a complete set of construction documents. And we also offer those same construction documents with our flat stack kit. So that we just simply did not have the capacity to keep up with the demand when we first launched the Pacwall Mini. So the Pacwall Mini will be in the future, real soon. So
Got it. And so how many square feet have you got in Phoenix? It sounds like it's a pretty big facility.
Currently at 35,000 under roof. Well, probably more like 38,000 under roof on 3 facilities, 3 buildings, and we're adding 2 more, and that'll be a total of about 30 on that. So we'll be close to 70,000 by the time we get all the buildings figured in there. We sit on 8.5 acres. We're right behind the Phoenix High School.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. And about how many employees?
That would have been a good question for my wife and the president and controller. She I think is 85 last go, but we did have to shut down slowly over the last 4 months. We've been shutting down our Washington facility, so we lost about 25 employees there. So we're probably down to 70 something at this point.
Great. Well, wish you success, and it's just so great to talk to somebody who is part of the affordable housing solution in Oregon. I mean, the entire country has that issue, but here, post fires, of course, it's really acute here. So great to talk to you about some of the solutions that you're providing.
Oh yeah, we love it. We love to be a part of it. So
great. Well, thanks so much for being a guest today.
Yeah, thank you.
You've been listening to The Ground Floor, JPR's regional business podcast. I'm Cynthia Scher, your host, and you can find this program and more on our website at jeffexchange.org or subscribe on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for listening.